If you have a trading strategy but you keep breaking your rules, this is likely why. Most traders have a strategy. They know what they should be doing on a daily basis, but they just can't seem to do it. And they think, okay, if I just have more discipline and a healthy dose of optimism, I'll eventually get there. Whereas optimism can actually be one of the worst things in trading. It's brilliant because it gets us to the point, like pushing through the shit, but eventually it actually becomes more of a hindrance because we're actually blind to our own mistakes. So we're doing the trades, we have our plan, and we keep thinking, okay, yeah, I'm almost there. I'm making progress, let's say 6 months in, a year in, starting to feel like pure shit. And then eventually we realize we're literally just going around and around in circles. So what we want to do is switch it, keep cycling, yes, but actually make improvement week on week. So the reason that we keep breaking our rules is because our beliefs are not aligned with our actions. So we just end up forcing swimming upstream as opposed to actually having them both on our side. I'm going to break down how we can actually align these two, our beliefs and our actions, creating the full circle so we can actually achieve consistent profits. So most of our behavior is actually running from unconscious beliefs that were formed when we were a kid. And unless we actually take the time to rewire these, we are just going to keep running on those old systems. So we have stress chemicals like fear and doubt that are literally closing off our creative and rational neural pathways. So we're literally not performing optimally when we're in those stressful states. So that keeps us trapped and locked in these reactive loops. Just keep on making the same mistakes and thinking, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I know what to do. Why do I keep doing the other thing? Like, you've probably sat there. I know I have multiple times just thinking, after I've entered the position, what just happened there? And it's literally because of this. It's because these stress chemicals are literally overriding. The amygdala is literally overriding the prefrontal cortex. It's there to keep us alive, but it is absolutely diabolical when it comes to the charts. So we can actually rewire our thoughts through emotion and repetition. So if we keep focused on that same thing, we can actually reshape more so the way that we think. So here's some ways that we do it. So the common situation for traders to be in is have a strategy, be optimistic that they're just going to get there eventually if they just be disciplined enough. What we want to do is actually align the strategy with data, the optimism with a healthy dose of reality, and then discipline with new beliefs. Doing strategy without actually recording data, it's just shooting from the hip like a fucking cowboy. Like we can keep taking trades over and over again, like 1,000 trades, and feel like we're learning. But if we're not recording the data and we're not actually optimizing using like based on that, based on the numbers, then it's completely pointless. Like if we feel like we're progressing, but we're literally just going around and around in circles like this. The data enables us to actually build on previous mistakes and create leverage. And then optimism. So optimism is brilliant, like we mentioned, to get us into trading, to keep us pushing through the shit. But we have to eventually face reality. I speak to so many traders and it's just this complete delusion, like genuine delusion. And I went through it as well, like just thinking, no, I will do this, I will do this. And it's brilliant to think like that. But if it's the whole thing of like just smacking your head against the wall, or fucking Einstein's thing of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If we're not doing something different, like if we're not actually fixing what's broken, then it is nothing but delusion, and it's not optimism. It's just fucking retarded. And then when it comes to discipline, it's like, okay, we just have to stay disciplined and follow the plan, and then eventually we'll get there. And yes, that is true theoretically, but unless we actually pair that discipline with a proper set of beliefs that actually reinforce that, the discipline, it's just going to be a very, very, very long road. So this side here, when we're just focused on this is forcing. What we want to do is allow the flow. So it's not an action problem, it's a belief problem. If we actually switch our beliefs, we will naturally do the actions. So our brain can only execute what it emotionally believes is safe and possible. So if we don't believe that we can make 4,000 in a trade, we're never going to be able to do that. So we need a belief upgrade. We have to do that. And again, when we're upgrading belief, it is easier to upgrade in a step function, as in like initially just win £1,000 trade, get used to the fact that you can do that, then up to 2,000, 4,000, 7,000, 10,000, etc. And our nervous system is just recalibrating and getting used to this new level of success. If we don't do that, if we don't increase it gradually and we just try and go from fucking 1,000 to 10,000, yes, we can win. By all means, we can win that trade, but we damn well will give it back. Like any time that I've pushed massively above my above my weight, but I've just had a really big jump, let's say, in a profit level. I've always found a way just to make stupid mistakes after that, and it's always a different reason, and it's because of this. It's because my nervous system isn't regulated to that. This is not my reality. Therefore, my ego, my brain wants to protect what is safe and what is known. So it just reverts back to the mean. Same way in the charts, that price will revert back to the mean. Where is the most volume? Price can, yes, it can break out of that range, but it will always revert back to a previously accepted area. So in terms of actually upgrading it, what we want to do is utilize emotion. So we can use this through hypnosis and visualization. So having heightened emotions while focusing on what we want to create. So here, as Neville Goddard says, the feeling is the key. So it's crucial to actually, first of all, have the thought, focus on what we want to create, but then the emotion actually pushes that out. Imagine it is the petrol or the fuel to actually crank that out into the universe. Sounds very woo-woo, but think about it like metaphysically. And then we want to pair that with repetition. So repeated affirmations, again, they have got a bit of a bad rap, but again, it's mechanical. And then meditation. So utilizing these mechanical processes over and over again, repetition, 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 and gradually we'll just keep upstepping our function to new profit levels. So if we utilize this, both the emotions and the actions, the repetition, we will be in the same situation, but we'll have new beliefs. We'll be the same person with a different self-image and using the same information, but with different actions. So therefore, we'll actually get a different result. We can actually follow our plan. So this leads us to the whole thing of, is the chicken or the egg? Like, do we change our beliefs first, or then do we change our actions? And it's neither. They both feed into each other. But what I will say from past experience is it's much easier to change your action first than change your belief. It's like, okay, I believe I'm a millionaire. And if we don't have anything to back that up, again, we can have the thought, but it will revert back to the mean. So a brilliant example of this is I've done fasts before, like a 5-day fast. And after that, my thought process completely changed. And I was acting differently afterwards. But because it was so far out from where I was before, I eventually just reverted back to old habits, old ways of doing things, old thought patterns, etc. Because it was such a big jump that wasn't supported. So if we actually want to follow our trading plan, we have to start believing that we are the person to follow it. How do we do that? Through action. Then we have a reason to believe different, which then positively reinforces our actions. So they both feed into each other. The first actions that we can do is start with our data. So this is crucial, crucial, crucial. You'll always hear me talking about this. Data is at the core of everything. If you're not recording data, I just know you're not a profitable trader. So the first thing we need to do is calculate expected value. So expected value is basically what tells us whether our system is profitable over the long run or not. So you always get Mark Douglas talking about thinking in probabilities, but no one knows what their fucking probabilities are. The expected value tells you what your probabilities are. So we calculate it by win rate times average win minus loss rate times average loss. So that's how we actually get the numbers to get the number. Get the numbers, get the number. That's how we calculate expected value. So the number you get from you doing this calculation is your expected value. So in this particular one, so this is one I just did for a client, he had an expected value of, if I can covering everything there, of 1.52. This is so fat. So that means that on average, he can expect to gain 1.52% per trade. Super high expected value. This is solid, solid, solid system. So without actually making any changes together, he already has this super powerful system that if he just replicates, keeps executing, yes, there'll be winners and losers, but on average, he will gain 1.52% per trade. So he can then actually think in terms of probabilities because he knows his probabilities, compared to if we haven't calculated this, then we're literally just thinking, okay, 4 losses in a row, 5 losses in a row. I don't know, is my edge decayed or what's going on here? Like, shall I actually keep doing this? Whereas once we know expected value, it just calms our nerves completely. And it just means that, okay, I know over 50 trades, I would be profitable. Let me just keep doing the same thing. Next thing then is rules versus confluences. So I define a rule as something that has to be there when we take a trade. It has to be present. A confluence can be present. So what you want to do is make a list, sit down, spend an hour, and just think, what are all the things that can be there while I take a trade? They don't have to be there, but they could be. So the way that I advise you to do this is take 2 screenshots, put them side by side, same trade, same setup, and then literally just play spot the difference. What is in trade A that isn't in trade B? What's in trade B that isn't in trade A? Those are your confluences. Both these trades are valid trades. They both follow the same rules, but certain ones might be at a previous weekly high, let's say. This one might have happened in the third hour. This one happened in the pre-market. This one had a volume on the shift. This one left a fair value gap, etc. So we have just different things that can be present, but they don't have to be there. Over time, then, what we want to do is calculate what is our highest probability confluences. And then over time, confluence can become a rule. And then the last thing is actually running specific experiments. So we have to be actively testing something. We have to have a hypothesis and then actually test that. So this here is just examples of different experiments that I'm running. So optimizing win rate, this is my confluences. So I'm utilizing what confluences have the highest win rate. Expected value, been through that. Reaction optimizer. So this is specific to a particular setup. What is the type of reaction that we're getting? How far away from my area of interest was it? Which time frame was it on? And then just generic ones like stop loss and take profit optimizers, break even optimizer, and then just extra generic data. So each of these, I'm looking to see something in particular. I'm taking trades and I have a hypothesis and I want to test that. I want to see is what I'm doing actually helping or hindering my setup. Doing all of this feeds into my beliefs because I no longer think that I have a profitable setup. I know I do. So therefore I'm not stressing over the outcome of each individual trade. I know my expected value. I know what experiments I'm running. Therefore, I'm just a chill guy. So next thing then that we can do in terms of action is start building our playbook. Crucial. So first step is to categorize our setups based on A++ to D. You can just do A to D if you want. A++ for me are those setups that are just literally the highest probability. I have the highest expected value on these setups. So therefore, I want to risk more on these setups. D setups, I don't want to take. They have the lowest expected value. It's not worth my time capital, my energetic capital. It's just not worth it. Remove those. And then A, B, C, literally, they can be the same setup, but with different confluences, let's say. Maybe an A+ setup or an A setup is the same setup is a C setup, but the A+ is at the high of the month. We have coiled volume. We've gone up 3 levels. It's Friday, let's say. Like just a list of different confluences that make that a better trade than the trade, which is taken on a Tuesday, not at the high of the week. Same rules. We don't have super tight coiled volume, but it still follows the rules. I'll still hit it, but just with less size. So the best thing about the playbook is it actually enables us to dynamically risk. So you can see here, this is my data here, and you can see lots of different, like this one's a 5, this one's a 1, 1.7, 2.5. It's the same setup. All of these are the same setup, but I'm dynamically risking depending on which grade it is. So I would highly advise you to do that. Not every trade is the same. We should not treat them all the same. We shouldn't treat a trade where we can fucking potentially make our month's money the same as just a regular bread and butter setup. Then quality over quantity when it comes to playbook entry. So we want to get as detailed as possible and actually learn, dissect. Where would we get in? Let's say, oh, this is so fat. Where would we get in? Where would we take profit? Here, this is where the money is made. It's really going in, turning the setups inside out. This is training our eye so that when it comes to live time, we're no longer second guessing, etc. So all of this, again, it's action that we take that increases our confidence, which then feeds into our beliefs. So if you've seen something 20 fucking times, the same thing over and over again in your playbook, which you should have, then it's no longer a thing of, okay, do I believe in this setup? It's like, okay, I know it exists. I know it has positive expected value. So now let me just actually fucking execute it. So the next action we can then take is prayer. So this is then, again, the whole point of all of this is merging our actions with our beliefs. So if we're doing a lot of action, a lot of playbooking, data gathering, etc., but we're not pairing that with the mental side, let's say, the belief side, then again, we're just having to do so much more work to get the same outcome, a lot less leverage. When it comes to prayer, the first thing that we can do is actually just have gratitude, just feel gratitude. Like, you don't have to follow any particular religion to pray. Same way you don't have to fucking speak the same language as someone to actually show thanks. Imagine if you had someone over for dinner or someone was living with you and you were giving them everything and they just never said thank you. After a while, you think, fuck this guy, and you stop giving him stuff. It's the exact same thing. We get given everything, but we rarely stop and say thanks. And again, I'm assuming here, but all of us as a whole can always say thanks more. Like literally everything, like fucking thanks for waking up. Thank you for having this computer to do to fucking place my trades. Thank you for being able to place a trade. Like, it's an honor to even be able to participate in these markets. So say thanks to what you have if you want more. And again, then in terms of metaphysics, it's the actual receivership frequency. So if we want to receive more, if you want to get sciencey with it, we're also having that on our side. Skipping ahead then, coming to ask. So we can have whatever we want. We just rarely stop and actually ask for specific things. It's like when you're younger and you fucking, or even now, you think you want something for Christmas and you have all these ideas in your head, and then your parents buy you something different, and it's like, oh, why didn't they get me this? Because you didn't fucking tell them. Like, speaking from experience, this happened to me multiple times. I'm thinking, oh, I love this. This is a brilliant present. I'm super grateful, but I wanted this other thing. But how could they have known that I wanted that over this when I didn't specify it? Exact same thing. Just hoping God knows what we want. Ask for it, do it nicely, and give thanks, and we genuinely can receive whatever we ask for. And again, provided we do the action. It's not just sit there and pray, do the action as well. They both feed into each other. Hi ho. So then the RAS is the reticulary activating system. So it's basically our brain's filter on deciding what's important, what should we focus on, etc. So if we believe that we are the person that always misses moves, our brain will literally ignore certain moves. If we believe that we're patient, our brain will actually sit there and wait for those signals. So we're not seeing reality, we're seeing our version of reality. If we change our version of reality through action and belief, we'll actually focus on different things. We'll find we're more lucky. Like, we clicked on the right chart at the right time and we saw that trade, etc. So it's literally our brain is excluding things and finding things based on what we believe. And this is going on constantly. So last thing then, exercise. So in terms of actual action, what we can do, meditation, breath work, working out. So meditation for the mind, of course, like a calm mind, a regulated nervous system is what every trader needs to perform at the optimal level. Breathwork, I put it for the field. So we have all this emotion, which is just stuck inside of our body. We need to breathe it out, shift it, allow for new thoughts to come in, calm mind, pairing these two together, and then the workout for the body. Again, all these three feed into each other. They're not like meditation isn't just for the mind, it's also for the body, also for your field, etc. But if we're consistently doing these three activities, we're at least stacking all the odds in our favor in terms of our physiology or actual biology. So the fastest and least exhausting way to profitability is by aligning our beliefs with our actions. So our RAS, all of these is going to feed into our reticulary activating system. That is then going to dictate what we notice, what we do, everything. So if we want to actually get consistent with it, then our RAS has to believe that we're consistent. Then we will then perceive the right trades. We will then actually act on that and follow our plan. Don't over-index on the doing, just pushing, forcing. Don't sit there and just keep praying and thinking and wait for it to come. Align both and watch it just come to you so much quicker. That is all for today. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next one. Good.